Unit 4 assignment, make a documentary. This is my documentary why I think baseball is the hardest sport out there. So, the mound in MLB, Major League Baseball, is 60 feet 6 inches from the plate, and a ball is thrown. An average fastball is thrown 95 miles per hour. That ball takes exactly 0.434 hundredths of a second to reach home plate. In Major League, Aroldis Chapman, the fastest pitcher ever to throw, his fastest fastball was thrown 106 miles per hour. That means that reached home plate in just 0.390th of a second. That means that the batter only had less than a hundredth of a second to make his decision to swing. If the fastball is thrown 95 miles per hour, a swing requires a total of 150 milliseconds to complete. That is accounted for the time of the muscle to contract, move their attached limbs, and bring the bat around to a close speed of 80 miles per hour. On top of that, they also have to watch the pitch come out of the hand and figure out what pitch he threw as the pitch is coming towards you and where it's going to end up in the batter's box. The batter's box is your knees to the chest, and it's the length of the plate. He only has less than 0.1 millisecond to decide whether to swing or not. A blink of an eye takes about 0.1 to 0.4. That's the same amount of time it takes a fastball to reach home plate. I haven't even gotten into the breaking balls yet. Let's just say the pitcher throws a curveball. The average curveball is thrown about, let's say, 77 miles per hour. Curveballs are thrown with considerably less velocity, right? But that doesn't mean they're necessarily easier to hit. See, the curveball has a lot of spin to it. So when it is thrown, the ball is spinning at a high rate of speed, usually about 2,000 plus spins per minute. And the ball out of the hand usually goes down, like this. The ball will usually break a lot more than a fastball. Fastballs go in a steady forward motion, right? But curveballs have a lot of break to them. So when it's thrown out of the hand, it is usually going at an angle downwards. Now, break is the amount of curve it has. So the average spin rate is about 2,515 RPM. So when a pitch is thrown, you can throw like a knuckleball and it has less than 100 spins per minute, or RPM, right? The only knuckleballer in MLB right now is on the Padres, our favorite team. His name is Matt Waldron. He throws the knuckleball, and it's so hard to catch and hit that he ends up striking a lot of people all out on it. When the curveball is thrown at 77 miles per hour, right, comes out of the hand, and it's either low and away, low and inside, high, low, it could be anywhere. But that ball reaches home plate in only 0.533 seconds. There are many, many pitches that have been created over the 100+ years of baseball, but they are generally split into three separate groups. These groups are considered the fastballs, the breaking balls, and the off-speed pitches. Okay? Let's start with the fastballs. So a fastball is generally thrown across the seams with two fingers across these two seams, or the horseshoe. This is called the four seam because each finger is across two seams. A two seam fastball is thrown across these two seams right here. And then there's the split finger. I generally don't know how it's thrown. It's thrown a lot of many different ways, but there's this, like this, across seams. And then the fork ball, which is a fork. You place your fingers like a fork and you throw. But it's generally hard to throw. Right? A cut fastball, which is thrown like a cutter. I don't know how a cutter's thrown, but it's a cross between a cutter and a fastball, right? Those were the 5 pitches in the fastballs group. Let's move on to the breaking balls. There are 6 pitches in the breaking balls group, right? There's the curveball, which is thrown like this. This is a knuckle curve. Because one of your knuckles are on, and it's usually you come over the top and you add a lot of spin to it. An eephus pitch, which you throw really high with not a lot of velocity or speed, and it drops into the strike zone. A slider is generally more for the sidearmers and is thrown differently. I don't know how to throw a slider, but it's thrown a lot different. A slurve, which is a cross between a slider and a curve, which is thrown at a 3/4 angle of your arm, and you come down. A knuckleball, like Matt Waldron, right? And then the screwball, which is like a fastball, but instead of going, so I'm a righty, right? I throw, and my ball usually goes down and away. But a screwball usually goes in, it goes the opposite way. It goes the same way your arm is. So if you throw righty, it'll go to the right. The last and final group is the off-speed pitches. I only know 3 pitches that consist of this group. I couldn't find any more. But there's the changeup. Changeup can be thrown in many different ways. There's a circle changeup, where this is in a circle form and your fingers are just right here. But generally speaking, it's these 2 fingers are always off the side of the ball, and your thumb is on the bottom, and your fingers are laid across the seams. You throw with an overhand motion. The next one is a palm ball, which, as you guessed, you put your palm to it and you wrap your fingers around. Nothing special to it. And you throw with your palm. What I think is the hardest position to play is catcher. Now, there could be other positions that for other people are harder to play, but generally speaking, the catcher is usually the one with the ball the most in a game. And there's no other position that is more involved in the game than catcher. He is always moving around to back people up. That's only one reason. Another reason is that it's one of the most physically demanding on the field besides pitcher. You are not only throwing down to first, you're either throwing to first, second, third, anywhere, back to the pitcher, but you're also squatting up and down after each play. What I think the second hardest position to play is the pitcher. The pitcher is always trying to help their teammates out in any way they can, be it striking them out or putting the ball in play and letting their infield and outfield do the work. And that could come in many different ways. Could come in a pop fly or ground ball, line drive, whatever. The pitcher is present in literally every play in the field because he's the one who starts the plays. He's the one who delivers the ball and either strikes him out or get a grounder, pop fly, whatever it may be. It puts so much strain. A fastball is thrown. When a fastball is thrown, it puts a lot more strain here than a curveball. But if you don't know how to throw a curveball correctly, you could need to get Tommy John surgery, or even with the fastball, if you throw a fastball way too hard, it puts so much strain right here in your elbow, and that your muscle there, that you will need to get surgery. And if you throw incorrectly, then that's a problem. But there have been many this last year. When they added the pitch clock, there were so many injuries added on top of the many injuries. 3 really good pitchers had to get Tommy John surgery in a 48-hour span. Let's talk about baseball fields, right? This is the last point. The longest and shortest MLB field that was ever played on was at Polo Grounds. It was not only the farthest from home plate, right? But let's say this is all the way out here. This is the infield, right? All the way out here is center field. And this is the wall. Right? It spanned center field, home plate to center field spanned 505 feet. The longest field to center field ever. And the home plate, it was also the shortest foul pole to foul pole. Or foul pole to home plate, right? From home plate to the foul pole, it was only, this is left field, right? This is right. From home plate to left field, it was only 277 feet. The shortest left field foul pole. And from right field to home plate, it was only 258 feet. Polo Grounds was made in 1876 and ended up living for 88 years until 1964 when it was inevitably torn down for apartment buildings. I think they should bring Polo Grounds back because I would love to go to a game at Polo Grounds. That's the end of my documentary. I hope you like it. Peace.